What's up, Horde? We're here again, and I got a new friend, but one I'm really excited about. It's Andy. I don't know how
What
to say
up?
your last name, so I'm not even going to fucking pronounce it.
Malafarina. How you
Okay,
doing,
so
brother?
I'm good. I'm good. It's exactly how as it fucking sounds, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes you never know with these fucking names.
No, it's a goofy last name. It's very long and people get scared of it, but it's incredibly phonetic, so it's nothing to be scared of.
All right, that's fair. Nah, so yeah, I'm good, man. How are you doing? You good?
I'm chilling. I do want to say off the top, I'm self-conscious about my hair, so I grabbed the first hat I could find, and I didn't realize that the hat is the exact shirt I'm wearing too. So I look like an absolute I mean, I am an every time I die mark. I have a shit ton of t-shirts and shit,
Right.
but I
Get
didn't
it fucked up.
yeah. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, so I did not realize that my hat and shirt matched perfectly. And also I'm using my gamer headset because my good headphones just broke. So I'm an absolute fucking mess
Fuck
right
yeah, that's how we like it over here, brother. That's how we like it. It's like we don't seem too professional. Like, now listen, that's stuff you're wearing every time I die shit. I didn't even notice. Like, those are my guys, man. Like, I fuck with those dudes. I have the eye tattooed on my hand. So like,
Yeah,
those are my boys.
I unfortunately don't have the finances right now to justify tattoos, but that's definitely getting on there at some point. Every Time I Die they're probably my favorite band. I'd have to double check, but they're the ones I get the most obsessed about. And yeah, I was one of the many fat bearded white dudes who cried openly when they broke up. So
Oh, dude, still fucking. If one band got back together here recently, it's fucking definitely gonna be them for sure. That I'm hoping for. Like, you know what I'm saying?
doesn't
Like,
look it
it
doesn't
does
look
not
like
look
it
good.
though.
It does not
Yeah.
look good. No, they're not in good standing.
They still I will say this, they still have time to sell t-shirts though.
They do.
And I've bought a bunch of post breakup t-shirts, but it's getting to a point where it's like, guys, you got to give us if every 4 months you're going to do a new t-shirt drop, you got to give us something.
But like, you're like, damn, Jordan, you're like still turning out t-shirts, brother. But you're in another band. You're in a whole ass another band. That's
Oh
insane.
yeah, dude, I literally don't like. I'll see. It breaks my heart, but Andy Williams is like the only one who respond to it on social media. But he'll
Andy's like,
constantly. People will be like, "Every Time I Die" reunion, and he'll actively be like, "Not a
no,
chance," and you're
not
like,
even a
"God
little bit.
damn it!"
Yeah.
Don't worry, we still have t-shirts to drop.
Andy's the most candid about it, dude. Like, every time I hung out with Andy, I'm like, dude, it's still crazy to me that you guys play, like, when they played, they would go like on tour and they would like play like 3 songs from their new album and then shit all the way back to like Hot Damned. And like, I'm like, Andy, that's crazy. Like, people don't usually do that. And he's like, yeah, we really should have just released like 3 double fucking albums and been done with it. And I was like, holy shit. It's like the most
Yeah,
candid response I've ever gotten from just hanging out with somebody ever. Like,
I don't know, dude. Every Time I Die should get props. Where like I saw someone mention this online or I forget where I saw this, but yeah, I saw someone mention this where they were like, the average band doesn't really make it past. Like most bands don't write like a fifth good album. Like most bands hit you with like 4 really good albums and that's it. And Every Time I Die is one of the few bands that you could say like they had 9 strong albums. Like there's
and it might,
definitely
might have gotten better until the very end.
yeah. Well, I think they sat in like I think they sat in a perfect pocket where they never like they never blew up, but they always seemed like a band that was like still pretty big, but they never like blew up where they got like mainstream or anything. And I think from what I've gathered of like watching bands exist and sort of fall off and stuff like that, I think they were in a really nice pocket creatively where they like stayed hungry or they could just them, they could just be those fucking dudes.
I mean, listen, they're just fucking like they're just good dudes. Like, fucking, I don't know, like they are kind of that like weird. They're all kind of weirdly that talented. Like Keith, you know what I'm saying? Like, was like got his writing career and still out there like writing amazing lyrics and shit and like teaching.
Yeah.
Like he like taught part time at Buffalo University and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
as a,
that was always something too where I liked Many Eyes, but I didn't like they were good, but the thing that was still there was like it's still Keith on vocals and he's still doing his fucking thing. And
right,
it's
he's
like
still killing it, dude.
however you feel about the actual band, it's like the lyrics are still fucking
Right.
crazy.
And it's taken me some time to warm up to Better. I like Better Lovers musically. I'm a vocalist guy. Like, I do vocals myself, or I'm learning vocals the correct way eventually.
Yeah.
So as I am now, but like literally, like fucking, I don't know, Greg's voice, like, not my favorite vocalist, okay? But, like, it's warmed up on me, and, like, I just happened to hear them the other night and just be, like, in the mood for it, and, like, it caught me, and I was like, "Okay, I get it." Not that I wanna hear it all the time, no, really not, but, like, I love those guys, like, and I'll support anything Jordan does, you know what I'm saying, or anything, so, like,
Yeah. Yeah, Better Lovers rips real hard, but it sounds, because it is the majority of Every Time I Die.
yeah.
And it is a huge chunk of the writing force of Every Time I Die. And it, like, to me, Better Lovers sounds kind of like, because you know how Every Time I Die had that, like, sort of rock and roll phase for like 3 albums,
Yeah.
and
They
it
sounded like
sounds,
Southern rock.
yeah, it sounds like they went that direct. So, and it's probably more of a me thing too, where it's still tough for me to to disconnect one band from the other, because I am so
They all
it's a me thing. I'm so obsessed with Every Time I Die that
I'm the
I
same way.
found myself not listening to Better Lovers as much as I would without that context.
Yeah, I agree, like, it's, like, almost forcing myself because 'cause I'm like, well, it is, like, yeah, Every Time I Die continued, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it is, but, like, also, like, they're both Many Eyes and Better Lovers are definitely, like, you can definitely tell there's something still missing for both of them, and, I
Yeah,
mean, it's Andy Williams, obviously, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Andy wrote a lot of the fucking, guitar riffs in fucking
that's what it was, right? It was like Andy and Jordan kind of fucking around, and then everyone
yeah,
else would come in and finish it out.
yep, yeah,
Yeah,
they were, like, kind of the force, and but, like, Andy was known as, like, the, main riff writer, you know what I'm saying? But, like,
yeah,
Jordan as it went on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan really kinda really, I think, took a lot more, like, what is it, like, pride in his craft, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really kinda got into it
yeah.
and, like, was writing a lot more later on the albums, like, I personally to me, Every Time I Die, like, Low Teens is, like, the pinnacle of fucking Every Time I Die. But, like, it's all amazing. Like, I can Gutter Phenomenon still fucking as groundbreaking as it was fucking 20 years ago, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
Now
if I would love because me and my co-host on Drag the Lake, Pat, we a while ago
is
we
that an
went.
Every Time I Die reference? That's the first thing I thought when you fucking said it. I was like, "Bro, let me find out he's
Yeah,
fucking."
yeah.
Is
It's
it?
not, no disrespect, but it's not Amni Affliction. I don't listen to them.
I wouldn't even have got that reference, so
I did not know that was the name of one of their songs until I fucking made the dude. Yeah, man, dude. It happened to me. My other podcast is called No More Heroes. And I thought of that name because I was listening to Knock Loose, and there was a line in one of their songs that kind of made me think of it.
what, in
And then
My Heroes?
yeah, it's like yeah, it was like
All My
all my
Heroes Went to
heroes
Hell?
went to hell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's My Heroes. Yep.
Yeah. And so I was listening to that, and I thought of the title No More Heroes, and I made the podcast, and then I was like, fuck, there was a video game called No More Heroes. Shit.
I didn't know that. Yeah, shit.
But yeah, no, yeah, Drag the Lake is, people hit me up, they'll be like, yo, you like Amni Affliction? I go, no, I like the breakdown in Floater.
Right, dude. Like, Floaters where we fucking I'm telling you, man, like, that's shit back in the day, dude. Like, I heard, like, I didn't get the Every Time I Die thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like I had a bunch of friends that were, like, super into it, and I was like, I don't know. And then, like, The Big Dirty came out, and somehow, for whatever reason, I heard Ebola Rama, and, like, it just hits, like, it hits so hard, and, like, there's a line in that song that says, what is it? When in Rome we shall do it as the Romans do.
When
When in
in
hell we
hell,
shall do shots at
yeah,
the bar. And I like
yeah,
that fucking, like, being like a fucking, whatever, 19-year-old kid or whatever. It was like, okay, that fucks so hard. Like, and then, like, I don't know, slowly I just got it. Like, and after The Big Dirty, by the time the new John Cassetta came out, I was fucking like, yeah, tattoo my hands. Let's go. Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Well, Hot Damn was such a big deal for me because I hadn't really been listening to too much heavy music at all. I remember, like, I was listening to such little heavy music. I remember the first time that I heard Thrice on they had The Illusion of
the
Safety.
safety, bro.
I
That's
remember I
oh,
remember hearing those riffs just being like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" Cuz
bro.
I
Under
like,
the Killing Moon, like, oh my lord.
and then, dude, I forget what the website was, but there was some website where they would just, like, you could watch music videos on, or it was some website. dude, you know what? You remember like when Pandora was still kind of popular
Yeah.
before all the streaming services were like normal.
Uh-huh.
I was on. It was like
Was it Strike Gently?
I did use Strike Gently a
Fucking
bunch.
listen, Strike Gently. There's like 2 scene fucking or 2 scene websites that like live in infamy. Strike Gently and Is Anyone Up? Like, and if you know about those fucking websites.
Yeah.
Like,
And I unfortunately used Is Anyone Up a fuckload.
bro.
And then
I used to live in fear of getting calls about like what person I knew's dick was on Is Anyone Up. Again, like,
well, dude, I was in like middle school or 9th grade. So like, and that was I was in 9th grade in like 04. So
right.
like a website like Is Anyone Up just broke my brain.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
for sure.
And then I got older, and I knew it was a bad thing after a while. But then they put out a document. What?
We all kind of did. We all knew it was a bad thing. Yet we were all still there, fucking in droves.
Well, yeah, that was And then they put a documentary out recently,
of
and
Hunter?
I remember being like, you're justifying it. You'd be like, this is a bad thing, but like, I'm not doing anything bad with it. I'm just looking and stuff. And then you watch the documentary and you're like, no. It's not just like a bad thing. It's like a horrendous thing.
Yeah, no,
like, fuck.
When I tell people about it in hindsight, like I tell them like, listen, there's a documentary called The Most Hated Man on the Internet. It's about Hunter Moore, the person who owned it. And I'm like, literally, and then I explain the website to them. They're like, dude, what the fuck? That sounds horrible. Like, they're posting pictures of people's herpes medication and shit. I'm like, to be fair, hold on. Like, they're like, no, to be fair, dude, that's fucking atrocious. I'm like,
yeah.
In hindsight, like the scene back then was not necessarily the greatest, and as much people complain about the scene now, it's not what it was then. Like,
and people now, like, it's not to say any of it was okay, but like I'll like, putting it back in, like, I'm a 9th grader, and the internet, like, social media wasn't even close to what it is now.
It was just MySpace, kind of.
Like, so, like, you're just looking at this as like, this is shit on your computer. Right. And you're a child, and you have no concept of like how real any of this actually is. Right. It's like when you would go on to like those weird websites, like, I don't know, like
E-Bombs
World, or you'd see a fucked up video and you're like, this is just what me and my friends are laughing at. You're a fucking kid and you don't have a concept that it's like, no, this is like fucking people's lives up. So right. Yeah, it definitely took growing up to realize that shit's like, oh, that was a fucking bad. It was the same thing, dude. Me and all my friends would joke about it. Like, there'd be nothing cooler than a Girls Gone Wild video trailer popping up on TV. Right. There'd be nothing cooler. And then, you get older and you realize how those fucking videos were made. And you're like, oh my God.
Right. Oh my God. There's fucking not a cent of good in it yet. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But the Every Time I Die thing I was gonna say, I forget if it was Pandora, but I remember it was a website like Pandora that would just show you like music videos on shuffle. And I remember Ebola Rama popped up, and I was like, I had never heard heavy music really besides like mainstream shit. And I heard Ebola Rama, and I go, what the actual fuck is this? And that was like that immediately shifted my trajectory. And I went heavy metalcore for a really long time. I had a rap. I mean, I've always liked rap, but I got heavy into rap in college, but it was basically off to the races after I saw Every Time I Die. So that's, besides them being literally one of the best bands to ever do it, that's a huge reason why Every Time I Die is like one of my top guys.
Yeah. I agree, dude. Like, they're just fucking, I don't know. And they catch a lot of hate and shit. I'm like, listen, bro, like, fucking, I don't know. I don't
know. I'd love to meet the guy that doesn't like them. I always joked. I go, dude, if you ever, any ladies out here, if you ever having trouble finding a man, just buy an Every Time I Die shirt. You'll get so much attention.
Right. Like, if you're into fat bearded men, do it.
For real. Dude, I would just be like, because I live in Texas now, but I used to live in like Pennsylvania, and then I lived in New Jersey, and I would have my Every Time I Die shirts, and I would just be constantly like, other bearded guys would be like, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. You get so much attention from the boys with an Every Time I Die shirt on.
Yeah, for sure. Like, or to tell her, like, listen, go get a Violent Gentleman's like fucking anything and just wear it around, and you will get mugged. Like, every dude that's like looks like me is gonna be like, hey, what's up? I want to marry you, like, forever. Like,
That's why I feel like, I don't know. I feel like every girl into like hardcore and shit, I feel like they don't have trouble finding a guy. Cause there is a thing when dudes are like, wait, you like the thing I like, but like the thing I like is like feels weird or whatever. It's like, you
Right.
actually
Yeah.
like that thing?
But dude, listen, like as I always joke, like when people like there's like two types of girls back in the day that liked heavy music, and it was like scene girls that like all of a sudden like really love Chelsea Grin. You're like, okay. And in hindsight, you're like, oh, you like them because they were hot, but that's fine. It's cool. But like now, like, there's always the girls too that were like kind of really hot, but like had the like hardcore show like an outfit, the like the beanie and the fucking flannel shirt and then like the windbreaker and like they were in basketball shorts. And like, why are you in basketball shorts? But like
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing. Like,
Yeah, they would always do like the straight hair and the extensions. Yeah.
yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was
No,
a thing.
I'm just remembering every girl I had a crush on in high school.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It was a problem. But now listen, I don't know. I had been listening to music, like heavy music for a long. I grew up listening to heavy music. My dad listens to heavier shit than I listen to now.
Oh
You know what I'm
wow.
saying? Like, yeah, it's fucking fun. Like so, but like so, like heavy music wasn't. I think that maybe that's why every time I died, I didn't like really hit it because like I split like two ways. Like after I got out of high school and stuff, or whatever. Like I was into like super into like post hardcore, like like I loved At the Drive-In and that sort of shit, like the post hardcore era of like that sort of shit, and like like it hadn't kind of hit metalcore for me until like, but like metalcore is like where I know and love, but like it literally like it hadn't spread out to that far yet when Every Time I Die came out, so like I hadn't kind of hit the I was still like stuck on Thursday and like I liked the early Thrice stuff, but I wasn't ready to listen to that shit all the time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So like it didn't quite hit at first, but then yeah, like I don't know, Ebola Ramen just hit me fucking hard that day, and I was like, okay, I you know what? All hate aside, I see what you guys are doing now. I get it. And
Yeah.
like,
It took a minute for it to get to me because dude, it was funny. Like when I was a little kid, my parents just listened to like Tom Petty and shit like that. So that's the only stuff I heard. And then did you guys ever do the thing where you send like a record label $1 and they send you like 10 albums?
yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that. And I remember I got like a Ramones greatest hits, a Run DMC album, some like fucking In Sync and a Smash Mouth and all. So like that slowly started to like expand popular music. And then it was really, I always got to give a shout out to my brother. It was my brother going to high school and meeting people into like punk rock and ska. And then he would just like, they would burn him CDs. Then he would let me listen to those CDs. And I found bands like, it was like Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish. And then like Green Day and stuff. And so then I got big into like all that kind of shit. And then it was just, yeah, it was like getting into emo and pop punk and stuff and fucking buying alternative press magazines and seeing all these bands with fucking crazy names and shit and being able to look them up on MySpace and shit. So, but no, it was once I started hearing, because I was always like a fucking, sorry, I thought my wife was knocking. I was always like a fucking just angry fuck all the time. So it was the second I heard like a breakdown, I go, this is what I've been looking for. And I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny actually. I don't know how to figure this out, but speaking of breakdowns, I actually think Newfound Glory was the first pop punk band to shoehorn a breakdown in a song. Because if you actually go back to Sticks and Stones, there's actually like double bass on it.
Wow.
And they're legitimately,
that's that for Newfound Glory. I didn't really listen to Newfound Glory. I never did the pop punk thing, so like that's a whole area.
Oh, dude, I was crazy into pop punk because it was like I was a suburban kid who was just all I wanted to do was just fucking get a girlfriend and shit like that, and I was awkward and weird, and I would hear all these pop punk bands, and they're like, "Hey, we're fucking pussies too." And I go, "What?"
Right.
And it's yeah, I was like, "No, wait, I'm not the only fucking sad pussy." And all these pop punks and like Take It Back Sunday bands were like, "Dude, we're also sad pussies." And I go, "This fucking rules."
Like I was super into like My Chemical Romance and shit or whatever, like this fucking and Thursday fucking Taking Back Sunday, like all those ones, fucking.
You know, it's kind of weird in my age now that I'm like 35. Well, I don't even know if it has to do with my age. I think it's just finding other music. Cause like I'm super heavy into hardcore, but truthfully, it's like I got into it in my late 20s. I never really listened to hardcore that much. It was just kind of getting into like, however, I got into Knock Loose, and then that opened up a whole other world of these bands. Because I know people are trying to call Knock Loose metalcore, and their like new album, you can definitely like
The
give
Last
them that.
Tracks, though, fucking, that's
Yeah,
a
but no,
hardcore album, bro.
dude. But even though fuck, I keep forgetting what the new one's called. But like on that album,
You won't go before you're supposed to.
yeah, thank you. That one you could definitely consider it metalcore if you wanted to, but even like at its bones, hard like Knock Loose is still like a hardcore band. But I was listening to them and I go, this is fucking nuts. And then I was gonna go see them, and they were on a show with like Kubla Khan and shit. So I started to listen to more of this shit, and I was like, oh, this stuff. It probably wasn't until like 2017, 2018 till I really started to realize I was like, oh, hardcore is the best. And then it ended up just being like actually going to a show and getting into a pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I have to show a lot of love to Knock Loose for opening that door. That's why I always laugh, dude. Like everyone will, the internet loves mosh discourse.
Yeah.
And they'll show like a Knock Loose show, and they'll be like, oh my god, a push pit at a Knock Loose show. It's like, yeah, they just blew up. So there's a fuck ton of kids who this is the first heavy band they've ever heard.
Right.
And
they're
just
not trying to fight everybody to get out of the fucking room.
dude, you can see it when because you know how there's been this great addition to a lot of hardcore shows when they're on like bigger stages where they literally add a stage in front of the stage so people can jump up and then fucking stage dive. And I was watching Knock Loose recently at Outbreak, and dude, you see these kids. It's so funny to watch because you see these kids jump on stage, and you can tell they're brand new to this music because they jump on the stage and they have absolutely zero coordination to like their two-step. They're just flailing and shit. And I go, dude, this is the first heavy band they've ever heard. And then they're going to keep listening to Knock Loose. And in fucking 5 years, they'll know how to mosh properly. Right. And then all these other fucking hardcore bands that no one's listening to because Knock Loose is popular, they're going to be like, wait, what else is over here? So it's just people get real. Music fans have such an allergy to a band's success. And it's like, dude, a band like Knock Loose, it's fucking insane that they're this popular and they sound
Jimmy
like that.
Fucking Kimmel.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel, bro. Like,
it makes no sense that a band that sounds like that is like this popular right now. So they're staying true to their shit. They're not like selling out. They're not putting out like just a weird fucking, whatever album, you know what I mean? So they're not just like changing up their sound because they're popular now. And like it's just gonna intro kids to good music, and then they're gonna find all these other bands that are just littered on all the like 197 and Hate 5-6 videos. It's like Knock Loose is gonna do nothing but good. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. It's good for all of metal, like to get it out there and like, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking, I don't know. It's people are so like weird about that sort of thing and gatekeeping that sort of thing, or like literally like the whole genre thing drives me insane, dude. Like, because then like I don't care. Like I think it's good now that like a lot of hardcore is like now like having a lot of metalcore in it, or like having a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of metalcore like has a lot of very deathcore parts in it. And like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Before it was like, keep your peanut butter out of my chocolate, keep my chocolate out of my peanut butter, like that sort of fucking nonsense. Whereas like,
dude. No, go ahead.
Yeah, well, like I was telling Sydney earlier today, like literally like about going and fucking, or she interviewed me yesterday. Like I was literally like going in about like putting shit on Reddit. And I was like, I did like a 30 like required listening albums that I think you should, if you like fucking core music. And like I put it up there and like I had it broke up into like deathcore 10, fucking hardcore 10, metalcore 10. And the fucking people who came out of the woodwork to tell me about like Knock Loose not being a hardcore band and like all this other crazy shit. And I was like, hey, I don't care what they're called. This is just how I like had them arranged in my mind to keep it like, presentable. Like I don't give a shit. Like it's crazy. Like,
well, it's funny to be like Knock Loose isn't a hardcore band, and then you listen and you're like, Yeah, you know that band that has breakdowns, two-step parts, and blast beats constantly?
Right. That's what like
You're like, oh, the 3 core components of hardcore songs? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
right.
It's like, yeah, I get it. They don't sound as fucking bare bones as Weapon X, which rips. I'm not
Well, it
shitting on
does.
Weapon X, but like
No.
Weapon X is like a pure straight edge hardcore band. Yeah,
Right.
they don't sound like that, but also they have that's the thing that drives me nuts about like the genre Nazis or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Cause it's like, dude, the best music I've ever heard is like a hardcore band that uses metalcore elements or like a metalcore band that incorporates hardcore shit. And then you get bands like Boundaries, who's like one of the best
Right.
bands right now.
Or like Kublai Khan started out pretty. I mean, they're pretty close to hardcore, but like they started out kind of more of a metalcore band, and like now they're like their last album was just like I don't know what it was, but it was perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah. Kublai Khan rips because they're a hardcore band with like riffs. You don't hear that as much. Like where they actually have like if you took some Kublai Khan songs and just put the riffs over top of like a regular rock and roll song, like it would make sense. So that's what. But they're also too incorporating like all the hardcore elements. Also, sorry, I'm a huge Kublai Khan mark as well. So I'm
oh no,
very
listen, I will send for Kublai Khan all day, every day.
yeah.
Bro.
I get very sensitive to the online discourse.
For sure.
But like the one thing that drives me crazy is they'll be like, "Oh, it's just like meathead music," and it's like, dude, do me a favor. Yeah, does he say bitch a lot? Sure.
Yeah, the obligatory bitch from that is amazing. But if you
read the lyrics, you will like, dude, you'll read the lyrics and you'll get worried for Matt. You'll be like, is he okay? Like the lyrics are, dude, like read the lyrics to Theory of Mind. It's dark and it's deep.
It's an existential crisis waiting to happen, like, or it's happening, like.
But like it, and the irony of it is so funny because it's like they're shitting on Kublai Khan for being like meathead music, and then it's like, oh, you're just doing that because they have riffs and their lead singer's like he looks like a gym bro. And like, so you're shitting on the band for being superficial while you're actively being incredibly superficial. And then it's like, dude, listen to songs like I'm a drummer. Well, yeah, I mean, I used to play the drums constantly, but I haven't like been up like consistent with it. But I'm still, I guess I'm still a drummer, whatever.
Right.
Like I was listening to, there's some Kublai Khan songs that are super easy to figure out. I was listening to Low Tech off the new album. It's fucking weird. Like I thought they were doing weird time signatures, but I think it's in like 4/4 the whole time. But like the rhythms in a lot of Kublai Khan songs are fucking weird and they're hard to like nail
like
down.
Polyrhythms almost, like, because they're
because the way, if you don't pay attention, you don't notice it. Because like if you listen, the guitar and the drums are very like half the time they're not rhythmically in sync.
Right.
But when you hear the song, when you zoom out and hear the song as a whole, it all makes sense and flows and you don't even notice it. But if like, I realized that trying to learn drum parts, I go, okay, so the guitar's going like, dun, 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 dun. So that's probably what the bass drum's doing. You listen to it, not even close. And you're like, I didn't even fucking realize that was happening. Like, I get irritated because it's like on the surface, I get why people go like, oh, it's a meathead fucking jock band. But if you really listen to it, like there's a lot of complexity and depth to it, man. Just because he goes fucking shake your asses, ladies, like that. Oh, is that the only thing you fucking saw?
Right. Well, I tell people, I'm like, dude, it's the simplest elements. Like, there's no like real frills to it, but like there is shit like polyrhythms and like crazy shit that's in there. But like, yeah, it's like, but it's those elements done so perfectly, and they do it so well that it seems like, oh, bro, there's fucking nothing to this. Like, well, I mean, there is a lot to it. You know what I'm saying? Though, like, because like all they hear is the up and down guitar chugs. I'm like, dude, there's so much other shit in there. Like, I mean, there's whole sections where like the drum and bass, like it's just drums and bass playing, and like that's hard to carry a song in general. But like they're doing it, and like the fact with Matt's like lyrics being like fucking, you know what I'm saying, like pretty top tier, and then covering like real social issues. Like, for Christ's sake, they said a dude's entire full government name in a song as a breakdown call out. And then if you hear the story of why they did that, you're like, oh fuck you, yeah, go ahead and do that. That's crazy.
Which
Like
song was that? 8 Years,
8
right?
years, yeah, because it's fucking
Yeah.
Eric's. That's the dude's name who killed Eric's brother as a drunk driver
Yeah, I just heard that on
on the
the
fucking
Downbeat
yeah.
podcast. It was fun. I was like, yeah. I was literally like, I was at Barnes and Noble or whatever, and I stopped what I was doing, and I was just standing in like the fucking science fiction section, looking at my phone, reading Kubla Khan lyrics. Like, yo, what?
Yeah, bro. Full government ass name. Like, holy shit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But like their guitar parts, like not usually are not super hard, but like just their guitar tone, like it's little shit, like their tone and like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like the like even Matt's like vocal style was like very just sounds like angry Jim Bro guy. But like there's little shit where he'll do like in low tech where he'll be like low tech. Like that's kind of hard to do like that in the fucking sense of thing because he's not just screaming like just like he's not just trying to do some weird fry scream. Like he's literally
yeah.
like the little nuances like that in there, but they're done so well you don't notice them until you
And
like sit and break them down.
yeah, and the funny thing that will make people sort of take them for granted is like they'll see the clips of his mosh call outs and he'll say funny shit, turn someone into guacamole.
Yep.
Yeah, any of that shit. And you'll see that and sort of just look at that as the whole show. And it's like, bro, I've seen him live 2 times. And it's like, yeah, no, he does that throughout the show, but it's and this is what I appreciate as a fan, because I like bands who, when you're in the studio, be as artsy-fartsy as you fucking want. But then sometimes as a fan, you're sitting there and you're like, brother, I drove like an hour here. I paid for parking. I'm buying beers that are way too expensive. You're like, and then when the band is really like has a mind of, they're very mindful of the showmanship. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate, because I'm also too, I was talking to my buddy about this recently. I'm a wrestling fan, and a big thing about wrestling is like, you want to see a good show, but dude, if Stone Cold shows up and doesn't do a stunner, I'm gonna freak out.
Right. Like,
and there is an element, I feel like, to these bands, I guess, this might be sacrilege I'm not acting like they owe me anything, but there is something like as a fan where you're like, brother, if you don't mind, can you guys do the thing? Because it's
right,
like,
I know you get this all the time, but like, I mean, we're here. There's a lot of us. Like,
well, you can also too, like, bands think they have to like, oh, well, we blew up on this song, so we have to be married to that song, and no one. It's like, no, you can do it tactfully. Like, one of my favorite bands is Enter Shikari, and I would go see them a bunch when they first came out, and when they first came out, they would close with "Sorry I'm Not a Winner." You know that song, the dun, dun, dun,
yeah,
dun,
oh,
dun,
yeah.
dun, with the claps. That's the
Yeah.
song that kind of like blew them up a little bit. And so then I would I've seen them probably like 5 times, and I saw them recently. And you know what they did? They played Sorry You're Not a Winner up early. So they're like, we're going to give you Sorry You're Not a Winner. But like,
then we're banging out the rest of the shit.
but there's more to us. So we're
Right.
we're not making our whole identity this one song that blew up on our first album.
Right.
And it's like, you can do that. You just don't have to. A lot of bands I've noticed, and this is just from like a fan's perspective, a lot of bands get pigeonholed because they lean into the fan perspective. So like they get popular because they're like, this is who we are. And then the fans create a narrative for the band. And then the band like leans into that narrative. And I get it, dude. Like, especially in a lot of these genres, you don't know when the money's going to dry up. So like, I get that fear. But I feel like a lot of the bands that have long-term success and like a hardcore fan base, they don't let the fans dictate who they are. They go out and they present to the fans who they are. And
right.
But they do it in a way where they're mindful of what the fans like and stuff, but they don't let the fans dictate who they are. They let the fans know who they are.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think bands definitely are like, listen, like even like the Architects thing where like everybody's like, oh my God, I fucking, I want Architects to like be a certain way or whatever. And like, like they kind of lean into it, but then they like still do what Architects does. Like, and you know what I'm saying? But they do it. I mean, it's just an example, I guess. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, exactly.
Architects they were like crazy heavy and then got kind of mainstream, right?
Yeah. Like if you go back, I got into them like on Hollow Grave. Yeah. Hollow Grave. Yeah, Holograph. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were like fucking a gent band before gent was the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just fucking stupid heavy.
Sure.
And then like, yeah, then like the next couple albums after that were like Lost Here, whatever like that one was, and Daybreaker.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. And then All Our Gods came out, and then you know what I'm saying? Like that, they kind of like that's when they really, really blew up. And then like they released a couple of like very soft, much softer albums after that. You know what I'm saying? And, like came like an
Yeah.
arena rock band and whatever. And, like then it wasn't with this new one. Like that's when they they released Seeing Red and all that shit. Where they it was kind of like the obligatory like fuck you to like we can still do this type of thing. But they still on that album they still kind of did whatever they wanted. They still presented as architects like we're still going to do whatever we want. But like here's your thing. So
Sure.
like I don't know. That's just like as an example. But I see what you're saying. Like I think the best ones I think to stay. Like I was telling in the interview yesterday we did. Like I was talking about bands that like if you stop evolving as a band or something, I think you probably should eventually hang it up. Like because like I think even if you look at it like Every Time I Die, like even they like evolved right up until the end, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of like always sounded like them, but definitely evolved. Like by the end of the Every Time I Die run, like they're fucking like on whatever the Great Unknown or whatever. Yeah. Literally, like they're playing
Their
like
last one?
no, the
Parts Unknown.
Parts Unknown. There it is. Jesus. But yeah, Parts Unknown. Like there's like it's like fucking Slayer riffs underneath there.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's also kind of a punk album a lot of the time. Like,
right? Yeah,
that's the crazy part.
yeah. And so it's like they definitely evolved craziness. Like Low Teens is like such a crazy amalgamation of like stuff they did. Like you know what I'm saying, where they like do a song with Brandon Urie, but then they have like songs that sound like Fear and Trembling, but then they have songs that sound like fucking what's the one? Two Summers, maybe.
Yeah, that's the name of one.
Yep. But you know what I'm saying? Or they have like songs like Map Change, like they're very different. You know what I'm saying? Or like
yeah, no, they well that all those different songs are good. They're like a good landscape of what Every Time I Die is because like all those songs are very different. Like if you what the fuck? Like they have that one song like I don't want to join your stupid cult anyway.
Yeah,
that sounds like a very chaotic like. It almost sounds like a soft metalcore version of Converge, but then like Map Changes, like that feels like almost like an emo-y post-hardcore song. You know what I mean? But there's this like a lot like a band like Every Time I Die, and this is gonna sound really cheesy, but a band like Every Time I Die is a band that like really understood their essence of who they are, sort of like sonically and philosophically. So they were very good at like keeping that core essence every time where like, dude, you could listen to like, you could go back and listen to Werewolves. I mean, that's just like a fucking rock song, but then you could go back and listen to, like we were talking about before, Floater. And that's like a pretty good hardcore song, but like they're both very different Every Time I Die songs, but they have like the same core essence that, like is why you started listening to Every Time I Die. And I think that's where a lot of bands, that's why, because some band, I will get frustrated when like, there'll be some bands that'll just start out heavy as shit. And then a couple albums later,
they
like
just lighten up and that's it.
Yeah, they're just like a pop band. They would just be one of those bands you'd hear at the like fucking start screen of a Madden game or something. You know what I mean? Like
Thrice is a good example of that.
Yeah, and that like band like and all of Thrice's music is good, but I kind of like fell off because I feel like listening to Thrice, there's like over their career, they've just been like 3 different bands.
Right. And they don't even play shit from the Illusion of Safety or like barely play maybe every now and then there might throw something from the Ardent to the Ambulance, but like they don't play anything from the Illusion of Safety anymore.
Yeah, I just watched a video of them at like Furnace Fest like a year or two ago. And they did actually play one of a song from Illusion of Safety, but you could hear from the crowd reaction that it was like, oh fuck, they don't do this ever. Like the way the crowd responded, you could tell that they never fucking do that.
Yeah, and it was probably Under the Killing Moon because that was the one they played like the longest. It was kind of the most like digestible because like the first 2 songs on that album though, they fucking come out and just kick your teeth in. You're like, oh okay, well there's no Thrice chorus, nothing. Like we just fucking. We're going heavy and bringing it in. It's like breakdowns after breakdowns. It's crazy.
Was that this? What was the song? Dude, it was so funny because they just put out a new song called Nash or something, and it's pretty good. I don't really,
I haven't
it's not
heard it.
really my thing, but it's fine. It's not like a bad song. And then I was like going back listening to Thrice, and I found this one song. They got like crazy. This one song of theirs got crazy big, and I was like listening to it. I was like, dude, this sounds like this just sounds like radio rock. I go, wait, is this what they are? I didn't know they got that different because I thought they sort of shifted. What the fuck? I thought they shifted a little bit more, almost like country bluegrass in a way. But then hearing that, I was like, oh, dude, they're like mainstream rock. Oh, I also got a hilarious. I posted a video about their new song. I got a hilarious comment because I was being like, Thrice used to be emo, and they were like, Thrice isn't an emo band. I was like, brother, let's.
Hold on.
I'll tell. We can listen to Artists in the Ambulance together, and you can let me know if they're not emo.
Right. If you don't tell me that's a fucking emo album, you're not hearing the same fucking thing I'm hearing because there's a lot of fucking really whiny shit on that album.
Yeah,
Like,
you might not know what words mean at this point if you
Right,
don't
like-
think at least give me their first two albums are emo. Now I guess like Illusion of Safety because they got riffs, but even every song that they had riffs, the chorus would just be a fucking fast emo song.
Yeah,
it was
just
great.
super. Yeah,
And I'm saying that as a dude who still loves emo. You know
absolutely.
what's funny? Emo pop punk fell off harder for me than emo music. I can go back and listen because you know what it is? Pop punk, a lot of pop punk music feels very of its time. I still like enjoy it and I still appreciate it, but like it doesn't. Dude, I remember I had that feeling. It just didn't hit the same. Listen, because I used to be huge into like Sum 41, and then like I remember listening to All Killer No Filler, and it's still an amazing album, but it does not hit.
Does
the
not
same.
hit like it did.
Yeah, I will give them credit. Does This Look Infected and Chuck still hit pretty hard, but yeah, the pop punk stuff fell off for me a little bit, but the emo stuff is surprisingly timeless.
But yeah, the nostalgia's still there, but it still kind of hits. Like some of some of my favorite bands that like broke up that I wish started like would get back together and start producing new music again. We're all started doing it eventually. Like you know what I'm saying? Like At the Drive-In did, and then like fucking like For First to Last did for a minute, and then like the only time I like ever was like, man, I wish somebody would get their shit together and do it would be Drop Dead Gorgeous because I really love the Hot and Heavy so much, and then they did. And
Yeah,
like,
they just came back.
that's all right. It's maybe
Yeah,
I have like super higher. I had higher hopes for it, but like I'm not mad about it.
yeah. Drop Dead Gorgeous was actually a big band for me because
Dude, the Hot and Heavy still hits hard.
yeah, I got yeah, I didn't get deep into their like later albums, but I've definitely heard certain songs on there that were like, yo, they definitely because like you could probably chalk them up to a screamo band, but they still managed to like whatever their first EP was. I remember hearing that like I think they were the first band. A lot
The
of
one with
people
the
call
burning
them,
building on the front or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people call them different things. I've heard like panic chords. I always called them dissonant chords because that is what it's like. That is what it is. You find two notes that don't fit in the scale, but they still make a really cool sound. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people call them panic chords. But yeah, they were the first band to like intro me to that. And I was like, dude, I need to find a band that I need to find every band that does this because this is the coolest fucking sound.
Yeah.
The like that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That shit still hits super hard. Even like early Norma Jean and shit. Like that shit just fucking it goes.
Dude, I still fuck.
Norma Jean's still killing it, kind of. So.
Yeah, and Norma Jean's a band that's been like Norma Jean's a band that's been like three different bands lineup wise, and they still manage to consistently pump out good music because whatever album they put out a couple years ago, I checked in on them.
Polarize or whatever, the one with the dead rats on the front.
Maybe
or no, or
you're probably right. I can't remember.
Whatever with arrows or whatever, the one with the hands on the front.
Yeah.
Polarize is the one before that.
Okay, whichever one it was. I remember checking in on them. You know what I mean? Where it's one of those bands you appreciate, but you don't listen to regularly. And I was like, what's Norma Jean up to? And I go, oh shit, they're still ripping.
They're still Norma Jean. Holy fuck.
Dude, I like Norma Jean too, because they'll go on tour with bands that on the surface, you're like, what? But then like it makes sense after you think about it. Cause my buddy, again, Pat, my co-host on Drag the Lake, he went to go see him and they were opening for POD. And I was like, yo, that's awesome. That's awesome.
What's crazy?
What's POD up to, dude? Just
right.
doing
just dreaded,
dude, just still hitting them with some fucking dreaded white boy Christian rock, dude.
We are.
They were, yeah. I was big into them for a quick minute when I was a kid before I found like Every Time I Die. I was like,
before we got heavy for a minute, like.
Oh yeah, dude. When because there was a time period where the epitome of rock and roll was Click Click Boom by Saliva. So that was that's when POD was a big deal to me.
Yeah. There was an era. There was a whole era type of thing. It's like, it's crazy to look back at like shit like that. Like going to
dude, it was so fun. I was just interviewing this dude. You were talking about Ohio bands and stuff before we started recording. This dude, Ian Ryder, he was in this band, Settle the Sky, back in the day.
I used to be their manager.
Oh, really?
I swear to Christ.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just interviewed Ian and we talked about his new band, Holy Coast, and then we just spent the vast majority of the interview being like, so yeah, dude, Christian metalcore was kind of the best.
No, listen, the first 2 tours that I went on was with the Crimson Armada. When I was with Death and Rare, and like literally we went and played only churches, and it was the fucking 2 best tours I'd ever been on.
Yeah, I will die on the hill of Christian metalcore. They had some of the best breakdowns back in the day.
But yeah,
because like
Crimson Armada shit, fucking oof.
Yeah, Christian metalcore was like, I know for me at least, you know, because I'm sure people will be like, well, actually, this hardcore band, and you're probably right, but I wasn't listening to that. Like in a more like if you're not listening to hardcore, if you're just listening to metalcore, the Christian metalcore bands were always like a go-to because they were like locked in on sick breakdowns and shit all the time.
Like For Today, brother, like outside of the weird Maddie shit, like I watched that band come out every night and fucking just Murderous Row played before them, and then For Today would come out, and I'm like, these kids are about to be disappointed about every band before because they fucking For Today would come out and murder so hard that it was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, For Today was a band I found way late into life, and I was like, damn, I would have loved these guys in high school.
Yeah, they went hard, dude. Like them, like even like early Devil Wears Prada, like you know what I'm saying? Like that's fucking man, dude. Like,
well, I was just gonna bring them up because Devil Wears Prada was sick. Because I always played, like, my main instrument was the drums, and I would always fuck around on, like, bass and guitar, and Devil Wears Prada was nice, because they were a band that I could kind of figure out the guitar parts and stuff.
Right.
So I always appreciated that. No, but yeah, dude, Devil Wears Prada they were sick. Dude, I was actually, I was talking about sellout people getting mad, like, we were talking about, like, gatekeeping fans. Devil Wears Prada was my first intro to like just negative hipsters because they got an art. They weren't even on the cover. It was when their first album came out. They got like an article in Alternative Press. I remember one of my friends being like, all right, they're done. They sold out. And I go, what?
Right.
I was like, what are you talking about? They're in the middle of this fucking alternative music magazine that's not even that popular.
Right, like, yeah, I would say that people in Ohio started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking get out of here. Like,
was a weird thing. You know what it is? And it's kind of ironic because so many, well, I don't know. Cause like, I know I grew up listening to punk, and like a big thing would always be like being politically minded and stuff like that. So in that sense, they would have like a large worldview, but when it would come to like the actual bands, it was like their world was so teeny tiny to like a lot of these fans where it was just like, oh yeah, if this band, they're like, what's that band doing over there? Are they paying their bills? I was like, you pieces of shit.
Right. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, no, that like, I talked about it on my show before with other bands, like kind of the thing now that like the scene has kind of like got their shit together for, and it, like music, not that the scene never used their like fucking voices up, like, or musicians using their self as a, like using their platform that they have, but a lot more bands now, like especially like metalcore bands, deathcore bands, are like talking about mental health and like talking about like real issues and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like shit where it's not like just, you know what I'm saying, the obligatory, like there was no deathcore bands about fucking talking about anything before. You know what I'm saying? And now a lot of them are very much like, hey, listen, and like, you know,
Yeah.
standing and that sort of like actually talking about something. And so like it's really weird because like it's a little bit more accepting, yeah, because it used to be just like, oh, bro, like you got signed, and you got like, and people like shit on like, oh, you got signed to Rise Records, like, well, yeah, it's a good record label. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? People would shit on them like, oh, they're gonna be no good anymore. Like, I don't know, man. Rise is kind of turning out a lot of good things. Like,
Well,
that's how you.
wasn't the irony too, like wasn't the like one of the big labels to get on back in the day was like Victory Records, and then didn't they end up being like just, I know Streetlight Manifesto had some like crazy lawsuit they were in with them forever, and I've never heard, like, the nicest thing I've ever heard a band say about Victory Records is like they weren't gonna shit on them too hard because they're like, I mean, they're the reason we got big, but no bueno over there.
Yeah, no, listen, and a lot of record labels are hard to deal with. Like, I told you the story about the Artery Foundation. Like, when it became Artery Records, like, it was like the pinnacle, and it fucking went fast not to be in the fucking pinnacle anymore. Like, I looked just recently, I was like, damn, I wonder what the fucking lineup looks like over there, fucking, or did look like last time. Bro, listen, I don't know anybody. Like, fucking, like,
Well, that's why I gotta give a shout. My favorite record label right now is Flat Spot Records, because they're reminding me what I loved about labels back at that. Like, a lot of labels are sort of, well, a lot of the labels that like started out when I was still in high school, they like don't know what to do with themselves anymore, because like Epitaphs, and I love Bad Religion and shit, but Epitaph's a great example where you look at their lineup and you're like, what's the vibe over here, man?
right. Well, that's when Epitaph, like, when every time I die, I got signed to Epitaph, like, everybody's like, oh shit, every time I die, like, they made it to like a real ass record label. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. But like I love Flat Spot Records so much because like you can trust the brand to be like, if I like at least 2 to 3 Flat Spot bands, I'll probably like the rest of the label. Like, if
right.
you go to Epitaph now, like, there will be the coolest punk band ever, and there will be some like fucking SoundCloud rapper, and you're like, I don't know, man. I think, I don't know. It's not to say that there's no room for SoundCloud rappers. I've definitely listened to a bunch and actually enjoyed them and stuff. It's not my main thing, but like, there's definitely good SoundCloud rap or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. No, I get
But
you
it's like, I always preferred a label to sort of have like, I prefer when they have like a general vibe. Like, I was just listening to the new Tooth and Nail was a great one.
Yeah, fucking
Ferret Records was a good one back in the day.
Fucking Roadrunner back in the day, like with new metal and shit, like fucking, like, if you're on, you know what I'm saying, like if you're on Roadrunner, you're like, oh bro, listen, that's a metal band you want to listen to.
Yeah, I think I gotta give a shout out. I think Fat Records is still like that, where it basically, you'll go like, oh yeah, this is probably a punk band that I would think the dude who is the bassist of NoFX likes.
Right.
But no, it's like I don't know, like Sharp Tone Records is really good for that now. That's who Psycho Frame is on. And I was listening to their album, looking through their lineup, and they like, I gotta give them props because they run the gamut of like I don't listen to them, but I just listened to one of their new songs. Like, I think they're called Casket. They're like kind of
Caskets.
Yeah, Caskets.
Yeah, they're very, very super, like super post-hardcore emo-y.
Yeah, and they're kind of, yeah, they have they have that like mainstream metalcore sound, but at the same time, they have bands like Psycho Frame and No Cure, who, like, No Cure is like a straight edge hardcore band who's putting out shirts that say like, I hope you die. You know what I mean?
Saying crazy shit.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. That was one of my I'm not even straight edge or anything, but I do really love the unnecessary aggression of straight edge bands.
Listen, dude, straight edge bands are making a comeback too. Fucking like Orthodox and fucking Boundaries, and you know what I'm saying? Like, god damn, bro, like fucking they're fucking straight edge bands are coming back.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, the like the I don't know what to call it without sounding too pretentious. Like, I don't know what like this philosophical perspective, the landscape or whatever of people. Cause like when hold
on 1 second, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna pause this real quick. I have somebody at my door. I think it's my food. All right, sorry.
No, you good.
right. Shout out second intro. My bad. I didn't know I was going to do that. That was crazy. Sorry about that. Like, what? Edit that out or something. Yeah. So what were we talking about now?
I was talking about you were saying about like straight edge bands.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's like when I was growing up, like dude, like the whole, it would be way more in the thing of like we're fucking rock and roll and we're making money, or not making money, but like we're partying and doing stuff. There was way more of that, and almost like I feel like in more of the hive mind, it was less cool to be straight edge or whatever the fuck. And then now, like I feel like there's a stronger array of perspectives. I know, definitely there is like sort of a vibe that dominates things, and there's certain things that are more taboo and whatnot, but it does feel like there's like a broader, like I don't know, like I remember, like what was the Asking Alexandria shirt that was always just like on your knees, bitch, or something fucking crazy like that?
Yeah. I remember them.
Yeah, now it's like, it just feels like there's a broader vibe now. I don't know. I was kind of rambling. I lost
No,
my
listen,
thought.
listen. I do it all the time. I'm here for it. Like I get to the end of many a statement. I'm like, where? What was the question again? Like, no, listen. I think it's a thing of like how the people are like, well, the scene now sucks. Where I'm like, listen, it fucking, you did not get to experience it in 2010. Let me tell you, not the most PC fucking place to be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I tell people like I toured back then and stuff, whatever. I'm like, I fucking had drug problems back then, and like it wasn't like rampant, but like there wasn't like, you don't see people doing like Johnny Craig fucking MacBook schemes, fucking strung on heroin
Yeah.
nowadays, like that sort
Yeah.
of shit. Like, like you don't see that nowadays. And I'm like, when I toured, like, yeah, we did some crazy shit and we drank a lot and whatever, and like every now and then we got out of pocket, but like there was no, like, it wasn't Motley Crue 87. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely.
Well, that is weird looking back at that stuff and remembering at the time how fucking cool you might have thought some of that shit was, and then when you get older, you're like, well, you know what it is? It's like I'm older than a lot of the bands were when they were doing that crazy shit. And you're like, I've done a lot of the crazy shit too. And then when you get older, you're like, oh yeah, some of that shit's kind of like lame as fuck. You
Super
know what I
lame.
mean?
Yeah, no, like, dude, I don't know. Like, it's pretty crazy to think back to, like, now I'm like, dude, listen, I tell people now, I'm like, I couldn't fucking tour now. Even like with as like toned down as it is now, like, but just all that, like, but the stupid shit that happened back then, like people getting like the Johnny Craig MacBook scandal and like there's all that sort of shit. Like we'd all been canceled in 10 seconds. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely like, there's definitely a lot of people on Twitter that are a little too like, I don't know. They're like ready to get mad about something. But I think like but it's all that that's how it is for a lot of the fans. I think like for the guys in actual bands and stuff, I think it's cool. Like it's cool for them that they can like, they don't have, I think it's cool for them to not have to worry about being a rock star. You know what I mean? And it's like you can actually give a fuck about real shit, and you can actually like be a real human being, because that was always my favorite thing. Like one of my favorite bands back in the day was this punk band called Gallows, and they would always do like interviews.
Are they from Britain?
England? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and they just always came off like real motherfuckers. And that was always my, like, a lot of people look at music and they go like give me they want the spectacle or whatever the fuck. And for me personally, I would just be like, I'm just curious who you are. I'm curious. I get a real kick out of like unfiltered human expression. So that's why a lot of the bands I like are a lot more of the like, they're not doing all like the razzle dazzle and shit like that. They're just kind of like going out there and going like, this is who we are. Like going back to fucking Kubla Khan. I got to see them at what is it? August Burns Red does their show every year called Christmas Burns Red, and Kubla Khan was one of the opening bands. And we were waiting in line And one of my buddies who I was there with, he because he'd been going to see Kubla Khan since like their first album. He would just go to every show in PA. So he actually got to know Matt and the other members of the band and shit just because he's been going to shows for so long. And he was like, yo, Matt's working the merch booth. And I go, wait, what? Like he was actually like work. And then, dude, it'd be so funny. He was like working the merch booth. And they were at a place where they could hire a merch guy. They're just like, yeah, more like we get to bring home more money if we just do it.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't mind doing it. No, and then he like came to everyone in the line and was like letting them know. They're like, yeah, we're going to close the merch booth down for the next hour so we can go play our set, but we'll be right back. And it just was like, I don't know, it just felt like because like back in the day, it felt like there were more rock stars. Now it feels like there's more dudes in bands, and I like that better. I think you get a better product and get a better experience when it's just like a dude in a band rather than like, yo, here's the rock star and shit.
Right. No, I agree, and like, yeah, there's very much way less ego into it now. Like it's just dudes in a band that like it's like are normal people. And I tell people like it's most of the time like most of the bands you ever meet like are going to be cooler than that, but like. The whole like I'm fucking too cool shit, Ronnie Radke stuff or whatever, like those type of dudes bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dudes like Matt Honeycutt that like I never met Matt, but like just you can feel his general vibe from you hear him talk for 5 minutes. You're like, oh, this is just a super regular ass dude. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And like it was as much as I hung out with like Jordan and Andy from Every Time I Die, and it was just like, oh, dude, these are just fucking regular ass dudes that just happen to be good at something that I like. You know? And that's
That's like I saw an interview with Andy from Every Time I Die. He was on Sam Roberts' show. Yeah. And Sam Roberts is a huge wrestling fan. And so Andy's talking about when he was first training, and it made me fucking like him so much more than I already did because he was asking him, he's like, so what's the big story? Why'd you get into wrestling? And he's like, oh, I just been a wrestling fan for a really long time. And like I have the money and time, so I just started training wrestling. I go, yeah, because that's like, and it's just like, oh, he just seems like a dude you'd work with at like a fucking machine shop or something.
Yeah, he's just a regular ass dude. Like,
yeah,
it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's
like,
sick.
I don't know, like, I don't know, music. I think just is at least the music that I love and that you love. Like, he's just kind of turned into like. It is not, it's way less pretentious, I think, than even it was like even when the scene started and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like where you had, band beefs and all kinds of shit. Like there's still some, but there's not like, the scene in fucking like 2010, 2011 was like kind of toxic.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I think it's why like we were talking about Knock Loose getting on Jimmy Kimmel, and that is cool. But at the same time, I think people need to be hesitant to, like, it's crazy to be like, Knock Loose is on Jimmy Kimmel. Like, you turn on Jimmy Kimmel that night and you saw, like, pig squeals. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Or not pigs, gutturals, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to remember, like, Jimmy Kimmel is a part of, like, a lot of the bullshit that is in the mainstream world. So, like, there is
trying to opt into it, like.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of people, because a lot of people look at like Knock Loose on Jimmy Kimmel as like validating, and I think Knock Loose on Jimmy Kimmel is more, it's like validating because they were on Jimmy Kimmel, and I think it's more like, no, it's validating because Jimmy Kimmel came to Knock Loose. Like, I don't know how much Knock Loose being on Jimmy Kimmel really like rose that, like, there was just all these people on Jimmy Kimmel who are now, like, now Knock Loose's listenership went crazy because all these people who watch Jimmy Kimmel. But it's more like a moment in time where, because like back in the day, it would just be, Green Day gets popular, all these punk bands get popular, so they're just like throwing money at these guys. So there's like big record label money. But now it's this thing where it's like you can create your own thing, and because of the internet, you can be like a self-sustaining force that now these like mainstream entities are like almost looking for your validation. It's like, right. Oh, I've been Jimmy Kimmel.
Underground like us now. Like,
yeah, my show's been sucking ass forever. Please, cool new rock band, come on to make me seem valid to the kids. And it's like people need to have more confidence in themselves and realize it's more about like the thing that these bands and the scenes and stuff like that create rather than just looking for validation from these like old school institutions. And I think it's also just like, I think it's also like, because like I want all of these bands to be able to somehow, I don't know the business that well like that, but I would love it if all these bands were able to make a living off of it. But there is something in the fact that it's like you can make a living, but you're not going to get like stupid rich like you could back in the day.
Right.
So it does, I think because of that, the egos are more in check and the music is better.
Yes. It's causing the artist to try harder, like, and like try to stay consistent longer, because that's like they're not being heaped upon like Metallica level money. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not just being like, oh, we're gonna make you the next big thing, and like that's it, and it's like one and out the door. Like there's all these bands. I mean, like just look at Gojira, like opened up the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, now, granted, there's not a lot of great French bands, so like I get it, but
yeah. But no, I do like a vibe where it's like there's all these like old school institutions that are becoming played out and kind of sucking ass. And then they're looking for this cool thing to make them seem less lame. I like that vibe a lot better than, oh, if we just try to sound like the current thing that's making these bands $1 bajillion,
right?
We'll blow the fuck up. You don't get
copycat shit.
Yeah. I feel like you don't, because dude, that's what's like, I haven't thought about that, but I feel like that doesn't happen as much anymore. Like, you remember when A Day to Remember got popular, and then every single pop punk band just started shoehorning breakdowns into their songs?
Right. Like all of a sudden, easycore became a thing because of A Day to Remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was a fan of easycore, but it was all the bands that you were clearly like, oh, you're trying to imitate A Day to Remember. They were the bands I would get exhausted of.
Right.
Yeah. So
I agree.
Yeah, I think that and that's what's nice about the current day and age is that urge to look for your corporate overlord's validation is not there the same way it used to be. And I think that's a really good thing.
Well, and you have bands too that now like are like going the route of like, we don't necessarily need a record label if we don't have one right now. Like we can fucking just put out our own music, and between Spotify and Apple Music and shit, like we can fucking put out singles or put out a fucking EP every fucking 4 days, because like it's just singles, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, we're just releasing it, but it keeps us relevant, and we're still like, we don't need the backing or anything else. Like, I mean, eventually they do, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it allows bands to like transition between record labels, to like transition between sounds, like that whole sort of thing, much easier than it was back in the day.
Yeah. And then I think a big thing too in the hardcore scene, that's why I always love giving a shout out to Hate 56 and 197 Productions, and there's a bunch of other ones, but those are like the two big ones.
Yeah.
Is they are a huge part of why a lot of these like hardcore bands blow up, because a lot of the hardcore bands, like most of them don't really make music videos. Like most of them, but Hate 56 or 197, they'll have like 5 high quality videos of their shows on their YouTube pages. And like I've been there before, like literally there's this one band I started to listen to because I saw they did a really good cover of Eyeless by Slipknot. They're called Smoke 909 from California. And yeah, I saw a clip of them doing the Eyeless cover. I found it on the 197 video, and then I just kept watching, and I go, oh, this band's actually really fucking good. And because I they had like a 20-minute live set that I watched, and then I ended up listening to Smoke 909 fairly regularly.
Oh yeah, let's check them out. Like, those places are cool too, because like even like you have a lot of people like that don't like are kind of reticent too of like going to see certain bands live, because like, oh, maybe they fucking suck live.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And like those fucking things are like bringing like higher quality fucking concert footage to people that like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and it's also putting it's like I feel like it's probably putting pressure on these bands to like set it the fuck off when they go live, because that's a
Right.
big thing. That was a big thing that got me into hardcore. Is the music's really good, but like the live show is so fucking good. You know what I mean? Like I'll
Telling you.
go in, I'll have a couple beers, I'll get in the pit, it's just fucking people jumping on top of each other. Occasionally I will get my nose busted open. That happened when I went to go see Tsunami, and that was an expensive hospital bill, but
I bet.
that's only happened once. But yeah, no, like sometimes you'll get fucked up, but it is depending on the place. I remember when I would go to shows in Jersey, and they were always like noticeably more, the pits would be noticeably more violent, but a lot of places you go, it's actually not that scary. You just have to kind of like
Stay away from the bullshit.
yeah, you just have to kind of like be, just as long as you pay attention to your surroundings, you'll be fine. And dude, it was funny. Like I went down here, there's this club. Fuck, I keep forgetting the name of the goddamn club. But no, Harm's Way was there. And it was hilarious because like a bunch of us were like getting in the pit and we were all almost fucking beating each other up. And you're like, because everyone watches those videos and think it's like super fucking scary. Because I get it. Like there's dudes throwing bows and you might catch a stray and it might suck ass. But we were all going nuts in the Harm's Way pit. And then when the concert was over, it's like we all started like shaking hands like we just played a baseball game. And everyone's going like, good game, good game, good game.
Right.
Because you're just like, oh yeah, I just spent 30 minutes almost hitting all these dudes. And then it was like a weird, I don't know, not to sound corny, but it was like a weird bonding experience. Cause like we just all, without thinking about it, we just all started like dapping each other up and shit. And it's just like, oh, this is like a nice moment. And we all did it while listening to the angriest music ever. And it just ended up being just a really nice moment. I don't know. I'll defend, everyone loves the pit discourse. I'll defend hardcore pits for, it's like the happiest I've ever been. Just fucking going nuts in the fucking pit.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's a lot better now. Like there was a lot of hardcore shit back in the day where like, you know, you had like hardcore crews and shit. Those where most of the bullshit came from.
Yeah.
But no fucking beef against hardcore crews or anything. But like, you know, especially like in Cleveland and shit up here, like literally there's a lot of fucking bullshit ones that like get a lot of dumb bullshit. That was
sure.
Like,
yeah. And I've heard about plenty of those, and I get it if you want to like make sure, you know, you almost want to be like low key the security force, but a lot of them where they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go in there and fucking punch kids in the head. I was like, that's kind of lame, guys.
Yeah, like
how about everyone just fucking, how about we just, because it's so funny how serious some of that stuff gets, because it's like, dude, let's be real, we're all going to see our favorite guys play their instrument and we're gonna do our cool little moves. So right. Just like it's not that serious, man. Like if I get it too though, because like I've read a lot of, like, I've watched a bunch of interviews, I've read a bunch of books. I understand that like back in the day, like a lot of these shows were super violent. Like I remember fucking like I was reading the NoFX book and Fat Mike would talk about it, and like at the punk shows he'd be like, every show someone would get knocked out. You'd have to deal with like legitimate Nazis showing up, and it was super violent. But I don't know, I feel like things are in a better space where it's like we can tone it down a little bit. We don't have to fucking have like fucking violent gangs going to each show and
right.
fucking up people because they smell like cigarettes or something.
Yeah. Like it is like that. It's fucking was like that back then. And like, it's kind of like now it's like, okay, listen, fucking, I think a lot of people are just like somewhat nicer. Like, I think enough bullshit is happening in the rest of the country. People are like, I don't need my bullshit at my fucking metal show, but I'm just trying to like go have a good time. And like a lot more people are just like, yeah, you know what? It's cool. Like fucking, you know, like a lot of that shit is toned down from like where it came from the 80s and 90s, and like where it was like kind of like weird mentalities got carried over, and like maybe parents were not the best sometimes, and you know,
yeah,
like a lot of parents now, like especially ones that like are approving of metal and stuff, were like way more of like, hey, maybe don't be an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe just like go and like have fun at the show and like.
Well, yeah, I think fun is much more of a focus. Like I was reading this book about like punk forming in the 70s. And like, it would just be, they treated the shows more like a fight, where like you would go and the band would spit on you, and then the audience would try to attack you, and it would just be like, are we gonna get out alive? And I think people now are just like, yo, dude, I don't have any money. This is actually honestly more than I should be spending for the night. Beers are $9. Can we just fucking chill?
Right.
I think like the concert's the getaway. I think, I don't know. It's people are just way more focused now on just being like, dude, I'm just trying to have a fun time. Everything's crazy. I'm just trying to have fun.
Everything else is crazy. And you have like a lot, metal's had a big glow up in the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Where like now you have a bunch of like not so angsty fucking like, mad people coming into like just like, I just like heavy music. I found out I liked it just now, and like I'm not trying to punch anybody, I'm just trying to be here. I'm like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw my buddy. I went to a show recently with my buddy Tyler. He had the hilarious moment where he's going nuts, and then he accidentally. I saw the aftermath. I don't know if he like punched or kicked, but he accidentally like kicked a girl, and then so he's going from like to, oh my god, I'm so fucking sorry. You good? Are you good? Like whenever you get to see the shift, it's so fucking funny.
Yeah. Like everybody's just like much more like have much more manners, I think, like just or like very much conscious of people. Like there's not a lot of crowd killing going on, like where it's like crowd killing where it's like completely uncalled for. Like, bro, listen, it's like a 5-foot girl. Let's not go like intentionally punch her because she's not doing anything. Like,
well, dude, that's what I found out when I got hit in the head. People are also aware of how fucking expensive it is if you have to go to the hospital. I think that's that's probably like something just subtly sitting in everyone where it's like, dude, if I get too hard, if I fucking punch someone and then him and his friends beat me up, now I'm just out like a couple grand. Word.
Yeah, no. They also had like that situation at the Body Snatcher show, I don't know, a year or so ago, maybe something, or like,
oh yeah, where they like shut the show down because
that's
another thing where it's like the security should be aware of what bands are coming there because Body Snatcher, for people who don't know, is like a beatdown band kind of with like metal shit at the same time, and they are one of those bands that will like tell the audience to like fucking kill each other. Yeah. But it's like you need security there to be like they don't mean that literally. They're just telling them to fucking get hype.
Right, like don't everybody freak out. Like nobody's actually gonna die. Chill. Like,
yeah, that happened at I went to go see, who was it? It was like Foreign Hands, Counterparts, Dying Wish, and See You Space Cowboy when they were still together. And yeah, the security didn't know what the fuck was going on, so literally they would have they had like 2 security guards in the pit for a little bit, and the guys were gonna be like, dude, we're fine, we're good. Well, the problem with that show too is they were letting people bring the beer out to the crowd. So the pit immediately turned into like an ice skating rink.
Yeah, that's never good.
No.
I mean, you have bands too, like the Acacia Strain, that will say the craziest shit about like, if you're an asshole, we like you. Like, oh shit.
Dude, that's what made me it was before I started listening to heavy music. I was at Warped Tour to go see the Acacia Strain. And I remember they were like building up to a breakdown. And this is just pop punk Andy. And they're like building up to a breakdown, and they're like, when this beat drops, if you're not ready for it, run for the fucking hills. Everyone here's about to die. Like they were just saying the crate. And I was like, literally, I was in high school. Like, what's about to happen?
But like, is he being like facetious? What's going on here? Like, no, it's about to get fucking wicked, but like, nobody's actually gonna die per se. I love the Acacia Strain so much. Like,
yeah, no, they rule. I'm very excited for their new album coming out.
Yeah, dude, they're still really killing it at a great clip, and they don't. That's one band I think does not get enough love. Like everybody, they're like a legendary band that I don't hear people bringing them up enough. They don't get like brought, and I go, dude, they've been fucking killing it forever. Dude, I have the cover of Death of the Only Mortal tattooed on the side of my fucking neck.
Oh,
like that's how much I fucking love that album. And like people will always like bring up like their favorite deathcore band and stuff, whatever. I'm like, and none of the lists have the Acacia Strain. I'm like, nobody's gonna say the Acacia Strain.
Yeah,
like, you know what? That's a beatdown band. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're hard to pin down specifically on the genre, because you could aspects of them you could call them deathcore, but are they a deathcore band? No. they're definitely not just a metalcore band, but they're also like they do breakdowns and shit. But are they a hardcore band? They're a band that's like hard to truly pin down on the genre.
And it's album to album. It's kind of like leans one way or another. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So I don't mean to be rude, but I actually have a concert to get to.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't planning on doing anything tonight. Then my buddy had an extra ticket to go see Wiz Khalifa, and I go, fuck it, I'll go see Wiz Khalifa.
Listen, I would preempt my show for Wiz Khalifa too. Fuck it, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Hey, I really, really appreciate you having me on here. This was a fucking awesome conversation.
No, listen, man. Anytime, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anytime, and I'll definitely tune into your show and shit or whatever. And like, I'll send over the thumbnail and everything. I'll probably post this tomorrow morning.
Yeah, man. Tag me.
Yeah, I'll tag you. Like, if you want to do the drawing too, because I'll use it for the thumbnail. Like, I can do it tonight. Like, if you just send me a couple pictures, like in the email or whatever, I'll do it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll send you a fucking picture, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming for sure, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. You're the man. Have a good night.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya.
Sydney Nova Art.
I'm still here.
I just wanted to do the shout out to the POD thing for Sydney, but you want to do the end? You want to do the ending of the show? You want to make it your own?
Listen to good music and be nice to each other. And if you see someone say OH, you gotta say IO, even if you're not from Ohio.
God damn right. All right, and with that, we'll end the fucking podcast.